I spoke in a previous video on the topic of the days of the week according to the planets. Keeping good on my promise, I kept pursuing my study of following the cycles and keeping an eye on the patterns, just as my dream had instructed me. However, in a daydream, I came to a startling concept. Imagine the fusion of the Roman gods. Imagine them as a facade. What's really happening is a weekly procession that's imitating religious practices of death and rebirth. The best way this is depicted is through the Egyptian mythology, which is centered around the Book of the Dead and navigation of the underworld. Perhaps the underworld is not a hell, but another dimension. Perhaps this realm is akin to purgatory, trapped, frustrated, and isolated emotions. And while we pay our time here, we go through the death and rebirth process pretty much infinitely for this lifetime inside of the carbon-based body until it's time to move on. And this is just the beginning. Keep up with me now as we continue on. The more you investigate the ancient myth and religions, you see parallels, and in fact, most practices have been carried over. My theory is that around 60 AD, when the Babylonians, using the moon cycle, designed our weekly calendar, it was designed for us to follow a pattern. I asked before, why are we following days of the week according to Greek turned Roman gods, which represent the planets? If we suspend attention from that theater, we see the simplicity and similarity of Egyptian myth being played out but disguised as pomp and circumstance. It's just the day, a method to keep track, right? How could there be a secret message encoded within our pattern? We forget to ask why. Why did they choose this system? When we peel back the layer of cosmic fluff, we see the interplay of a drama, the drama of the soul or human dream. We are prisoners of time, as I've said before, duality playing out, the heroic battle takes place, we go through the underworld and meet the Father. We are seduced by love and tricked to fall back into time, and before we can stop to change this course, we do it again. Now let me break down this cycle for you. We are born on Sunday. The sun, our zodiac, even favors this. You must go past your sun sign in astrology to truly learn about yourself. But it's a tangled web. So, with the emergence into the Sunday, we are operating by our left brain logic. Monday comes around and we are operating under our subconscious, which the moon rules. We are in duality. Part 2. Now we take sides. I like the sun more than the moon type of thing. So with that perception of duality, we enter Mars, Tuesday, day of battle. We pit the two dualities together. Now, no matter what side you choose, like with politics, it's just a battle for war's sake. We don't realize it's a distraction. It's instinct. This intellectual us is versing the animal side of us. These two sides war, and we die to that process and end up in Mercury, or Wednesday. And in Egyptian lore, Hermes, or Mercury, was akin to Anubis, god of underworld, who ushers you to the other side. You spend time learning about yourself, which is what death is all about. Learning about yourself, your position in this cycle. And when you emerge, you greet the Father, or Zeus. Or if you like to hit Jupiter or Osiris, they all become one and the same. We are the students, and we go to the Father for advice. Because we're always going to trust the authority to direct us in the right direction, right? That's what we're taught. And Jupiter directs us to Friday, the feminine, the siren of Venus. She, like Maat, the female god that weighs your heart against a feather of Egyptian lore. She determines our heart against the soul. And as with romance, we are seduced into a trap. Blinded by love, we fall. The lure of Venus. She is setting a trap. Set, as it so happens, is the corresponding Egyptian god Set, who is in essence Kronos, or god of time, or as we know him, Saturn. Yes, we are in a trap by Saturn to remain in this realm. And until Saturn releases you, you are here in this cycle. They use our bodies to live as cogs in the machine, and all the while we think nothing of it, as long as we are distracted with the human dream. So investigate for yourself the patterns. Check out the corresponding qualities of Egyptian and Western myths. My only advice is to integrate this pattern to your own life. Don't beware, simply be aware. Our minds have invisible force fields sown with thoughts. Break past those boundaries. Live the mythology. Figure out what role you desire to play. How is this pattern playing out in your life? The sun and moon within battle. We die and are born again, advised by our Holy Father to follow love. We reach the essence of love, and she is there to enslave us back into the time loop. The question is, are you afraid to escape? And what is beyond the chains of Saturn?